What's up, hotties? No. Big babies. That's Megan's. Megan is the hotties. You guys are my big babies. And I am Elise the Destroyer, and you are watching another episode of the Manly Pixie Dream Show. Today's episode is a dream quest. Hopefully I can figure out how to add like a crowd screaming. So today, you guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about my album, Ride or Die, that was supposed to come out on August 31st. But, you know, when you have mental health that is the way mine is, sometimes you overlook things. Sometimes you don't really see everything, especially when you're an independent artist and you do everything on your own, just other than, you know, making the music. I do that with other people. But when it comes to like setting that shit up, bro, something can get overlooked. And in my case, I realized that one of the songs had this weird just emptiness at the end of it. It was An-American. And I really didn't want it there because in another song later in the album, Everybody Knows has a pause in the song, but it's purposeful. It's poetry. It's like whereas the An-American one was not intentional, and I did not want that anywhere near my album. Because I do look at my albums as pieces of literature more than I see them as music. This album, I made it with my friend MJ, aka Bearbox, aka Mario Ortiz. He is one of the most talented producers I know, self-taught. I don't know the specific year, but we met in college. And he was in a band called Phantom Falls.
Couldn't be here without you.
He's the bass player in that band. But then I found out that he did his own music. And I was like, whoa, like you're like a jack of all trades. Because he's also a photographer. And he was also like in the newspaper. It's just like, you know, he just gets it. He's a cool guy. So I definitely opened myself up to the process of working with somebody else on an entire project. Because what would happen was he would send me these songs, these beats, and I would go, oh my God, these are great. And I would send him these songs back and he'd be like, oh my God, these are great. And then eventually we had like 5 songs. We were like, maybe we should just make a project together. We made 3 more songs and now we have Ride or Die. Yeah, I would just go over to his house, Chico, California. I would go over there. His bedroom was just like any old regular college area, but he had a desk with, and he had a piano on the side and a microphone stand, 2 chairs, and just computer, but just, you know, very much man, you know, guy, you know, cool guy. And he was very open to my lyrical journey. I was getting a little theatrical. On some of the songs, you can hear us laughing with each other. You can hear me like getting into character. He kept some of that stuff in. One of the songs, Cigarette, has this line, I'm sorry, officer. And I remember like telling him like, hey, I think I should say this in a country accent. He was like, yeah, fuck it. That solidified forever that I would forever love him and know him, and he was always going to be one of my producers forever. Because yes, fuck it. Exactly. It's music. We're supposed to be having fun. And that's why I appreciate like working with him so much. And that's why this album is such a good artistic baby. Because it really came out of just 2 people just vibing. I love MJ. I love you, MJ, if you're seeing this video. Anyway, that was the story of how we made it. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about the cover art. The cover art specifically is kind of like me. Well, actually, I was really struggling to figure out what I wanted to do specifically, but then I was like, you know, let me just pull some images, some PNGs of the things that I think show up, you know, multiple times imagery-wise throughout like all of the songs. For me, that was of course the alien, and now it's also the cigarette, the cars, the transportation of it all, the convenience store background, and the paper. It's supposed to be just like the story is being told, but it's not all there and it's not all correct. And it's kind of toxic. And some things are more important than others. And I really like to experiment with my cover art. I've done a few different kinds of ideas. So this time around, I was just like, let me keep it simple and just let it be about the text and the script. You know, and this album feels incomplete only because I feel like it's not the end of like this character's story, you feel me? Like it's not the end of my poetry for the alien or the vampire. And that might be a weird thing to hear. Why are we talking about aliens and vampires? Let me explain to you the story of Ride or Die. And I'm gonna try to tell you the story in at least 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes, 2 minutes, okay. So, what's that creeping on your face? The story of Ride or Die starts with an alien coming down to Earth, landing in a deserted area, and she meets a vampire. We get the line, what's that creeping on your face? You look like you just felt pain. You look white as a sheet of paper, and you want to know my name. An American stranded in Spain. I don't think you guys get it, but I get it. So I'm going to break it down for you. What's that creeping on your face? The reason why she says this is because he just bit her neck. Was not regular blood. He thought he was about to going on, you know, eat some human flesh, you know, have a good time, ditch her, you know, go about his day. That was not the case here, friend. Just because we're in the middle of the desert does not mean you can just go around killing anybody you want. I am not one of your puny humans. You cannot just drink from me. And he's just like, this is a drug. This is a different kind of blood than I've ever tasted before. And she's like, yeah. And he wants to know who she is. She says, my name is An American, stranded in Spain. Why does she say that? An American is an alias. I believe that she just is trying to blend in. It's like supposed to be like this play on somebody who's trying to blend in to like the American femininity. That's the caricature, or like the archetype that I'm creating through An American. It's supposed to be an archetype. It's not like an actual name. And stranded in Spain is supposed to be like not of this world, in a new environment that is similar but different, you know? And I think that this meet cute in An American is really like her introduction to like life on Earth. And it's not so bad when she's near somebody who's just as powerful as her. Whereas, like, you know, other humans can't really experience humanity because of how fragile we are. But she can, and he can, at a much different level, at a much different pace than we can. And I really appreciate that about these two characters. Anyway, so we push forward and we get to Don't. And it's basically like, I breathed again. Everything like last night is seeping in. I tried to keep it to myself, but I can't help it. I tried my friends, but they just repeat trends. Affirmations on Instagram. The truth is coming in. The truth is coming in. She's basically saying like, I know what happened last night is not normal. I'm taking it all in. You know, I'm appreciating it for what it was. I can't even talk to my friends about it because they're on some puny shit. They're on some like human shit. Like I'm trying to like move past that into some deeper universe, galaxy sense of like the world, and they only want to talk about like Instagram trends. Like I'm trying to tell them about this deep love that I've just experienced, and they're giving me quotes. She's like, to the vampire, don't leave. Like, I want you to drink from me. I don't want you to be relying on these humans anymore. Drink from me instead, you know? Pour me. It sounds like I'm saying, like, pour me. because she is. I mean, it's both. She's like saying, pour for me, but this is a really toxic situation. She should not be who the vampire is drinking from only, but she doesn't want him to be, you know, relying on these humans anymore, because like, I don't know, she's just not vibing with them, but she's vibing like with the experiences of Earth. You feel me? Everybody's watching, but they cannot decide. Then we get to everybody knows. It's basically like, dang, like we have eyes on us because of our powers when we're together, you know? They can't really figure out what's going on. Nobody can really decide whether we're together or not. Like, it's almost too intimidating to think of both of them being together. I really like Everybody Knows, because it's very much like, the rumors are right. Like, and she says, like, I'm sorry, I'm not here to drink. I'm here for a bite. You feel me? She's not here to drink. She's here to get bitten. I think that the vampire is actually a metaphor for people who suck energy from others, like energy suckers. It's also like a metaphor for white people. It's also a metaphor for somebody who is seeking humanity but can't grasp it. Somebody who is living amongst us but isn't really living. That's the metaphor. Damn. You get to the very end, the interlude, and you also get a poem in this song. This is the first poem that she writes to the vampire, from the alien to the vampire. Bees. The human gaze of a bee, like as a single-use predator with minimal chance at survival, still collecting things to make sweet. I'm like, he's not trying to harm anybody. He wants to walk around and he wants to make things sweet. Or like, that's how she perceives him. She doesn't perceive him as somebody who's a monster. She perceives him as somebody who wants to do a lot of good in the world. But he doesn't really see himself in that way. And in that, he kind of forces himself into like a lot of situations where, you know, he's trying to blend in when he really shouldn't be. He should just be himself. Cigarette is my desire. Cigarette is their sexual relationship. Cigarette is a metaphor for penis sucking. Cigarette is also a sign of desire. That's bad for you. Pleasure, that's bad for you. Vices that are that feel good but are bad. The getting in trouble, and that's also like her experiences with humanity are kind of toxic, but they're super fun, and so that's kind of interesting to watch. And you get the line, "I'm sorry, officer, this is just a cigarette. This 40 is filled with water. I'm not 21 yet, but I've dreamt of nights like these with you and me and we, convenient conversations and your cigarette." And it's basically like, I'm sorry, officer, like very much the village is watching them. Think of Beauty and the Beast. The village is watching them. They're aware of them. They want them to get in trouble. But the thing is, like, she still has like on her mask. Like, she's still her alias of An American. Like this, like she knows the laws. She knows how to get out of trouble. You know, it's just a quirky little song. Like, it's very cheeky. Like, you know, tongue in cheek. Billion Bikes is the beginning of the end. This is when she is writing to the vampire the most. This is when her traveling, her studying of the earth, and his you know, stubbornness start to clash for the first time, in the sense where she feels like she's a million miles away from him. But through her writing, she tries to connect to him. She's like, I wrote this song. I wrote Billion Bikes. I rode 1,000 miles. I wrote 1,000 lines for you. Poems in the train, poems on a plane. Yes, I wrote 1,000 things for you. I wrote to you as I rode, and I drove to you in a poem. The sun is feeling cold. I'm coming home. What she's saying is like, you know, I am a space traveling alien who travels the galaxy and studies all of these things, and I understand that Earth is where you want to be at. I can't really connect to you through these things anymore, but I still love you and I still want to connect with you. So let's just keep connecting. Because in City and Cattle, that's when like the apocalyptic things start happening. That's when you see the storm that's coming for the earth. Oh, there's good in the eyes of the storms. I've tried to walk inside, but I get blown away. Yet I'm delighted to see the buildings become gardens. After all of that destruction, I'm blown away. The storm comes and it devastates like so much of the land, but he still survives and she survives too, but she's kind of like into it. Like, he's devastated that like this world that he loves so much has been destroyed by its people, but she kind of enjoys how the nature is reclaiming all of the buildings. She kind of enjoys the beauty that grows from the destruction. She kind of and she realizes like that's what she enjoys so much about like their toxic relationship. Beautiful. We have one more poem. This is her poem to him, basically trying, like, pleading with him to understand that like we can recreate the world. Like, we don't need to keep on, you know, keeping up this facade that we're humans anymore. You and me, like, we feast on the green. We are machines. Like, we can do more than these people can. We should be doing more than these people because they're not even capable. Why do you want to be like them? Why do you want to blend in with them? Like, cut that shit. Then we get to hunting humanity, and she's just like giving up. She's like, I'm crazy and you're stupid. Like, just let love lead the way though. Like, please don't throw all of this away because of like because you want to hunt humanity. You can just be you. You don't have to go down to their level. But he wants so badly to be like them. And it's sad. Yeah. I don't know if people will relate to that sort of story, but I do in some elements. Other elements I think are like, you know, science fiction-y. But I really enjoy how in love with him she is, but how devastated she is by his weakness. It's kind of sexy. It's kind of hot. Femme fatale-ish. If we survive. Final song, which is Naturalism, which is basically like, if we survive this, then we're gonna be like having the best time of our lives. Finding matching necklaces underneath the wreckage, making new personas. We could be the doctors. We could take the earth back, take it to the hospital, grow some trees, and clean the seas. Naturalism. It's basically like we're taking over now. The nature is reclaiming all of this because humans suck. But you and me, baby, we can do it. I don't know if they end up together. It's very iffy at the end. Ambiguous. An ambiguous ending. But yeah, that's the story of Ride or Die. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I am really happy that you stuck around this long and that you were able to keep up with my random and weird brain. But I do love connecting with you guys in this way, and I do love that I'm doing YouTube now because for the longest time I really didn't know how I was going to explain to people what exactly I was doing when I was making music. Because when people ask me what kind of music I make, I'm like, lyrics? Beats? I make music. I produce beats so I can sing my lyrics. You know what I mean? I don't really make music. At the end of the day, it is music, and I do appreciate it. I listen to a lot of music. But really, I do experience music as text, and I think that comes from my theater background in my college. Like my degree in English and theater. My first love bought me this. This was my gift, his gift to me for one of my birthdays. And this is my first project ever put on vinyl. And I love this vinyl. But the sound quality is awful. Why? Because I didn't really do good with my sound quality. Or the website that he bought it from was bad, but I took this album down. You know what I mean? But I will always have this. And this will be passed down from generation to generation to generation within my family. And I'm realizing, like, I want my sound quality to be good. So, because I want my future and descendants to know who I was. And hopefully, with some more investment and some more time, maybe people will start paying attention to my art, and maybe they will start interacting with it in the way that I dream of, in the way that I wish for. Thanks for watching my video, you guys. Follow your dreams. Keep following your dreams. Thanks for watching. Bye.